Coulter, one of our best authors in America, best-selling author. Her latest book is Resistance is Futile, a guidebook for Democrats on how not to mess this up. Resistance is Futile. Also get her column and follow her on Twitter, Ann Coulter at Twitter, and go to anncoulter.com. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you, Mark Simone?
Very good. Now, Mike Bloomberg has been hiding behind these Hallmark card-like ads, 400 million of them. What's going to happen tonight when he has to actually talk for himself?
I know. I'm so excited about this debate. I feel like a total dork.
But what happens in America? Here's that little whiny pipsqueak voice, the Southampton accent.
Also, it was very clever of Trump to tweet out that Bloomberg, had requested that he stand on a box.
Yes.
Because whether or not it's true, he really can't stand on a box now. And, candidates do that. I mean, obviously there are a lot of factors in what makes people vote for this or that candidate, but I noticed when I worked for the Senate Judiciary Committee, it was almost weird how much senators look alike. You have virtually no beards. I think in the last 100 years, John Corzine was the only one. They're all about the same height, not freakishly short, not freakishly tall, with Paul Wellstone being the late Paul Wellstone being very short, Alan Simpson being very tall. But by and large, they look so much alike, roughly the same height, sort of bland Washington good looks. They could wear the same shirt size, which leads me to believe that people do have an idea in their heads of what they expect a senator to look like. It wasn't so much true for the House members. And presumably that holds true for presidents, which is why one of the classic moments of, the 1988 campaign, probably the two biggest visual images were, one, Michael Dukakis in the tank, and number two, the moment at that debate when the very tall first President Bush reached down to shake little Michael Dukakis' hand. So that was a long way of saying I think the fact that Michael Bloomberg is probably borderline midget is going to make a difference. And you're right, he hasn't been in a debate was he ever even in a debate for the mayoral elections? I assume so, but I don't remember them.
He was, but he was always up against very weak candidates. He's never had a real strong opponent or strong debater ever in his life.
I mean, he's not a stupid man, so I'd assume he will do reasonably well. But it will at least make the debate more interesting than the last 700 debates, which has been pretty much the same old thing. I thought it was odd after the New Hampshire debate, probably like you and probably like very few of your listeners, we have watched all of the Democratic debates. And Amy Klobuchar was always doing very well. I mean, any Democrat, it should be said, even the ones who seem sane, are basically going to hire the exact same people. There will be very little difference in a Bernie Sanders administration and an Amy Klobuchar, or probably, well, who knows, a Mike Bloomberg administration. So, you're getting badness no matter which one of these guys or gals you vote for. But just listening to them talk, Amy Klobuchar was the only one who seemed within shouting distance of sane. And so, suddenly I guess they decided, oops, Biden's not in it anymore. So the media started saying I've never seen her debate like this before. Ooh, it's so, no, she was always really good. But apart from that, it's pretty much been the same thing over and over and over again.
But you'll admit, whenever the big donors get behind somebody, and the big donors say, well, he's electable, they're electable, it's Jeb Bush, it's Biden, it's Hillary Clinton, they're always wrong, and now they're saying, Bloomberg, he's electable at least. So they'll probably be wrong again.
I tend to think that is absolutely true. I think we'll see. I think it would be hilarious if Biden won South Carolina. I would just like to mix things up for the Democrats, throw them into total disarray. But it sure looks like Sanders is rising the same. They're very different, but they do have one thing in common. The same way Trump did, with all of the Democratic senators, all of the talking heads, the establishment type saying, no, it's never going to be Sanders. The same way they said that about Trump. Well, I'm sorry, he's won the first two contests. He's polling higher than anyone else. I mean, it sure looks like it's going to be Sanders, which for the Trump supporters in your audience is pretty good news.
Except one thing about Trump, he fights to the death. But Sanders, when they start stealing his delegates, they start moving the debates, he just sits there and takes it. And as Rush pointed out, Sanders is the most bribable guy in the world. In the end, he'll take the bribe and go away.
That's interesting. You could be right. That isn't what I think of as his main Achilles heel. I think of his main Achilles heel that he wants to turn our country into Venezuela. And he has absolutely insane plans. But as for not fighting, oh my gosh, are you right? Remember, I mean, it's happened this time as well, but 4 years ago, when some loony, I think they were Black Lives Matter protesters.
Two women took away his microphone.
Yes! And he just backed away. I was doing a podcast around then with some comedians and demanded that they watch it. And the entire room couldn't stop laughing at what a girl he was.
And Donald Trump said for the next week, he said he can't even protect his own microphone. How's he going to protect you?
No, those images do not project strength or the manly virtues. It's really this wokeness is really killing the Democrats. I mean, I gather the Democrat has to calculate. Well, if I take a mic away from a black woman, that will end me. It'll be finished. It will be a return to Jim Crow, and so they have to back down like little girls in pink party dresses.
Now, some people with Trump, they'll say, well, why does he have to talk like that? Why does he have to say these outrageous things? Now you look at Bloomberg, he said things 1,000 times worse than Donald Trump has ever said. Dozens of them.
Similar things, in fact, which is to say things that are true stated bluntly. At least Republican primary voters will let you get away with a little impoliticness in your speech as long as the direction you're going in is a good idea. If the underlying point is an important one, which it generally is. Certainly during the campaign with Trump, I can think of very few tweets and so on or statements at rallies that I disagree with. I have the same feeling about Bloomberg. The problem is he has to immediately turn around and back away from what are actually perfectly defensible policies. I mean, for example, stop and frisk.
No, but I'm talking about the comment about farmers aren't bright enough. You don't have enough gray matter.
That was strange.
Well, that's just an elitist snob. What about blacks and Latinos don't know how to behave in a workplace? Who could say things like that?
Well, I mean, there is the problem with being not blacks and Latinos generally, and I don't think he was saying that or anyone thought he was saying that. No, right, but you, I don't mean to be accusatory, are inserting in all blacks and Latinos, and did he say Latinos? Because, yeah. I mean, there is a problem with the lack of fathers in the inner city, and, I mean, that is a big argument, has been a big argument for example, welfare reform, that we just want people, particularly from homes where people do not work, just to have jobs, just to get used to waking up to an alarm clock, showing up on time.
Yeah.
A lot of that is a useful skill to develop. Okay, he didn't say it in a politic way, but you have to look at problems honestly and clear-eyed in order to fix them and help people.
I hate to say we're out of time, but we'll continue this after the debate.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's tonight. It's NBC, so it's totally rigged. The questions will be rigged. So,
that's part of the fun.
Yeah, it's 9 to 11 tonight. Well, Ann Coulter, everybody get Ann Coulter's book, Resistance is Futile. Get all of her books if you haven't read them all. Get her new column. It comes out tonight. Go to AnnCoulter.com. Follow Ann Coulter on Twitter. Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Good to talk to you, Mark Simone. Bye-bye.
Take care.